What is up, you guys? Welcome to Move More, Eat Better, episode number 5. Today, we are going to talk about the weight loss trifecta. Now, what this entails is a couple different aspects. And when you implement all three of them, the results are absolutely phenomenal. Now, first of all, we'll start with ketovore. Ketovore is a combination of the carnivore diet and the keto diet. I'll elaborate that on a minute here, but that's going to be kind of the bedrock for your nutrition aspect. Then intermittent fasting, or fasting as what I usually call it for short, that's going to be the second aspect. And then the third aspect is going to be tracking. And what I mean by tracking is tracking your macronutrients and your total caloric intake. When you combine these three, the results are absolutely phenomenal. Personally, I've lost over 70 pounds using these three methods. And I've helped hundreds of people lose hundreds and hundreds of pounds using these methods right here. So they're very, very potent when you apply all three of them to your weight loss goals. So let's dig deeper. Ketovore. So ketovore, like I said, is a combination of the keto diet and the carnivore diet. It's going to be a low carb, plus it's going to be a low inflammatory diet. Additionally, it's going to be high in protein and high in healthy fat. When I say carnivore diet, I also interchange that with animal based. So, animal based would be including dairy into the diet as well. So, just letting you know, I interchange those two quite often. And then basically the cornerstone of the diet is eating meat, eggs, and dairy products. Now, if you want to include carbohydrates on this, which I do recommend for mostly performance aspects and to refuel your body a couple days a week, you can include fruit, honey, white rice, sweet potatoes, and non-inflammatory vegetables. So that's really the key to this whole ketovore carnivore is going to be low carb, low inflammatory, eating stuff like meat, eggs, and dairy, and then also focusing in on non inflammatory vegetables, fruit, honey, white rice, and sweet potatoes. Now, the benefits of eating ketovore. Number one, weight loss. And if you're doing this correctly, you can see weight just melt right off. It's very, very rapid, especially if you need to lose a lot of weight. Insulin control. So we're going to take down our resting insulin levels by being in that low carb state constantly. Number three, become fat adapted. So as opposed to using carbohydrates for fuel, we're going to use our stored body fat for fuel. And now this is really important if you have a bunch of body fat to lose. Decrease and elimination of joint pain. So when you're in a keto state, when you're eating a carnivore diet, which is very low in inflammatory agents, you're going to notice a decrease and elimination of joint pain. So when you're eating toxic foods, they'll often accumulate that toxicity, and that pain will often accumulate in the joints. Number five, little to no soreness from workouts. So when I am really getting after it in the gym, I'll notice my diet will really help me recover quicker from workouts, and it will also help me reduce soreness from workouts as well. Heal faster. So let's say you do wind up pulling a muscle. I have noticed that when I'm on the keto diet and carnivore diet is that I heal faster. Now, this also has to do with intermittent fasting as well, but this is one of the benefits of ketovore. Improved cognition, improved energy, improved digestion. So you're eating very, very clean, natural foods, foods with one ingredient in them. Your energy, your cognition, and your digestion are all going to improve. And then, like I've said before, reduced inflammation. So that's probably one of the big key concepts to eating this way is that inflammatory aspect, and you're going to be taking that way, way down. Now let's shift gears a little bit and we'll talk about fasting. Now, fasting is when I say fasting, I'm just referring to intermittent fasting. Now, you can do prolonged fasts, shorter fasts, but in this case, I'm talking about having a daily window of eating and then a daily window of fasting. So this can look um, this can look very different for a lot of people, and I'll go over kind of the strategies that I like to implement with my clients and the people that I train. So effective timeframes. This is what I would consider kind of the beginner's time frame. This is going to be between 12 and 14 hours. Very, very manageable. As an example, let's say you stopped you had dinner and you stopped eating at 7 p.m., you wouldn't eat again until 7 a.m. the next day, giving you 12 hours. So you can easily adjust that to get up to 14. But I really see this as the minimum buy in. This is for beginners, and this is a good way to get started. If you're embarking on a fasting journey, I would highly recommend doing 12 to 14 hours for about 2 weeks to really get adjusted to it and let your body adapt. Then bumping it up the next level, 16 to 18 hours. I would consider this more of a intermediate fasting window where you can start to get the benefits of that I'll go over in a second here, but you can really start to get the benefits of intermittent fasting within this 16 to 18-hour window. Next is going to be the 18 to 20-hour time frame. This is what I do personally. Most days I hit 18 to 20 hours. It does take practice. It does take getting used to. It's not something that I would recommend going right into an 18 to 20-hour fast every single day, but I built this up. I've been fasting now for 5 years as of this recording, and I can do 18 to 20 hours no problem. And I pretty much do that during the week. And then during the weekends, I'll bump down to 16, 18, sometimes 19-hour fast, just so I can have meals with the family and kind of loosen things up a little bit. But those 18 to 20-hour fasts are pretty standard for me during the week. And then the last one is OMAD, 1 meal a day. So this is basically giving yourself a 60 to 90-minute window of eating where you're going to try and eat your total caloric needs for the day. This is good for people who need to lose a lot of weight. It's one of those situations where it is challenging. It is hard. You got to make sure you're fueling your body correctly within that eating window, that 60 to 90-minute window, but it is very, very potent. I've seen people who've had to lose a lot of weight lose it in no time at all by implementing the 1 meal a day strategy. Now, fasted workouts. This is something that I like to personally do. I like to have my workouts be in a fasted state. I find I perform a lot better when it comes to lifting or doing metabolic conditioning or cardio. It's something I've gotten used to, though. So combining my 18 to 20-hour fasts with a fasted workout is something that I built up. It's something that I worked into. If it's something that you've never done before, as far as intermittent fasting goes, I would suggest not doing fasted workouts until you've adapted to exercising. But ultimately, the goal I would say is to start doing fasted workouts, because that's when you're going to really ramp up your metabolism and tap into that fat for fuel. Now, let's talk about benefits. I wrote down the exact same list because it's almost exactly the same as the keto and carnivore approach. So, rapid weight loss, insulin control, become fat adapted, and tap into stored body fat for fuel, decrease and eliminate joint pain, little to no soreness from workouts, heal faster, improve cognition, improved energy, improved digestion, and reduction of inflammation. So, when you combine the keto diet with the carnivore diet, plus you throw in intermittent fasting, those two components are extremely potent when it comes to weight loss. Like I said before, I lost 70 pounds implementing these tactics. And it's one of those things that I'll never um, go back and start eating the standard American diet or start eating from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. These are hardwired into my daily lifestyle now. And it's something that I would highly recommend implementing on your own and giving it a shot and seeing if it works for your goals and seeing if it's something that fits your lifestyle. The last part I'm going to talk about is tracking. So putting everything together, tracking kind of just pulls everything together when it comes to caloric need and macronutrient needs. So when it comes to tracking, we're going to be looking at knowing your daily needs and intake when it comes to calories and macros. So when I refer to macros, I'm referring to protein, carbs, and fat. Treat it like you would your bank account. So if I were to ask you, come up to you on the stream, like, hey, how much money do you have in a bank account? Do you know? I don't want the exact total, but I want to know if you know how much money you have in the bank right now. And you'll probably be pretty darn close when it comes to telling me what that total is. Now, eating or knowing what your what your caloric intake is and your protein, carbs, and fat is important because it's going to directly affect how you look, how you feel, how you perform, how much energy you have. So it's a stat, it's a data point that should be treated as serious as you would the amount of money you have in your bank. Now, the benefits of this: one, it's going to be directed, it's going to be purposeful, and it's going to be a quantitative approach to weight loss or potentially weight gain or maintenance. So for me personally, I'm in a maintenance mode right now. I don't have to be in a caloric deficit to perform well, to get to the gym, to keep my fasts throughout the day, to be fat adapted, etc. So I'm in a maintenance phase right now, but you can adapt very easily to losing weight or gaining weight, meaning lean muscle mass, beefing up a little bit, bulking up a little bit very easily when you know how many calories you're eating on a daily basis. Another benefit is you're going to fuel recovery and you're going to fuel muscle repair. So this is mainly going to come with the amount of protein you're going to consume. If you don't know how much protein you're putting in your body, recovering from workouts and recovering from strength training sessions is going to be a lot harder because you're not going to be fueling with the proper macronutrients, mainly protein. Monitor carbohydrate intake. So weight loss and weight gain will boil down to how many grams of carbohydrates you're eating on a daily basis. If I want to lose weight, one, I need to be in a caloric deficit, and two, I need to monitor my carbohydrate intake. If I want to gain weight, I need to be in a caloric surplus, and I need to up my daily carbohydrate intake. Protein is going to pretty much stay the same whether you're looking to lose weight or gain weight, and I'm going to talk about an example here in a minute, but we're going to be monitoring our carbohydrate intake very carefully when we implement a tracking strategy. Next, precision when creating a caloric deficit. Like I said, if you want to lose weight, you got to eat in a caloric deficit. Opposite, if you want to gain weight, you got to be in a caloric surplus. And then we have maintenance kind of in the middle there. So it's going to help you really precisely get to where you want to be when it comes to weight loss. I've seen a lot of trainees try to lose weight and they're not tracking, and then they don't know what's going on. And then when I say, hey, let's start tracking some things, they'll find out, whoa, this peanut butter that I've been snacking on, I've been having 3 tablespoons full, and that's 3 servings when I really thought I was only eating 1 serving. So it once you track and measure and weigh your foods, you'll really get a good idea of how much you might have been overeating and why your weight loss goals weren't being achieved. Let me give you guys an example. Now, this is a typical day for me on the ketovore diet. So, I pulled this from my data points here. So, calories 2,475, and this is for me. I try it since I'm in a maintenance mode. I try to stick between 2,300 and 2,600 calories per day. So I hit 2,475 that day. My protein was 247 grams. My carbohydrates were 45 grams, and my fat intake was 142 grams. Now, this is a pretty typical day for me. I usually eat within this caloric and macronutrient range, probably about 5 days a week, sometimes 6. And then when I do a carb load, basically what I mean here is a clean carb load, I will invert things. So I'll give you an example here. So on this day, I ate 2,600 calories, and that fell kind of within my range there. My protein basically stayed the same. So I strive to get over 200 grams per day. So I got 226 that day. My carbs were way up. So I did 183 grams of clean carbohydrates. Like I said earlier, that can be fruit, honey, white rice, sweet potatoes, non-inflammatory vegetables. So I'm pretty much almost triple my carbohydrate intake from my normal day. And then my fat intake was very low. So I did 93 grams of fat on this clean carb day. So that gives you kind of a contrast there between a high carb day and a low carb day, and what the fat intake will look like. And the protein, like I said earlier, should be pretty much the same, whether your approach is weight loss, weight gain, carb day, not a carb day, it all that protein should be pretty consistent. So that's all for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed my Move More, Eat Better episode number 5. This was a quick one that I wanted to share with you guys on what I consider my weight loss trifecta, and it's very potent. You should give it a go. If you have any questions on nutrition, on fasting, on keto/carnivore, you can shoot me a message and I'd be happy to help you out. Take care, you guys, and have a great day.